Well, all right, we're here at what is this Nourish
Norris Lab,
Nourish Labs. Okay, we're in
Oxford Street.
yeah, all right, Oxford Street. So this is
Yeah,
like in Osu, which is like one of the I guess more like a social area. You got a lot of businesses and
well, yeah,
everything.
more of a commercial area.
Commercial area.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
so you can
lot.
see this buildings and the
Yeah,
stores and the shops around. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, and that's why we decided to stay. We're
yeah,
why we got an Airbnb in
yeah.
Osu. And like a lot of the events and everything,
Hmm.
clubs have been going to since we got here, been in this area, so it's
Yeah,
been convenient.
yeah,
All right, so yeah, I'm here with Larry
yeah,
Owusu,
yeah. Larry Owusu.
and just connect with him on LinkedIn, and we're just gonna talk business, talk about what he's doing, and yeah, just learn more about like what it's like doing business in Ghana, and it's part of a series where we talk about how you do business and do develop things in Africa overall.
Right.
So let's get into it. First, want to see if you can give me just a good background and kind of introduction to who Larry Owusu is. From growing up, Ghana, everything.
Oh, right. Thank you for the opportunity. So, um, my name is Larry Owusu, and then nice to meet you again. And
Yeah.
thank you for reaching me out on LinkedIn. It was really a surprise for me to see when I got onto my iPad and I went on down straight to my LinkedIn profile and I saw there was a notification. I looked, I'm like, who is this person? Then I
Yeah.
read a little information because sometimes I do get reluctant in sharing information,
Yeah.
but I did a little and I saw your YouTube videos and I
Ah,
was like,
okay.
okay, yeah, I can deal with this person. Then that
Hey.
was it. Okay, anyway, so I'm Larry, yeah, Larry Owusu, just as you saw on LinkedIn. I was born here in Ghana, in Accra here.
Okay.
So I grew up in Teshnungwa State, went to my secondary education here from, my primary grade. Over here we say primary school.
Yeah, yeah.
From primary we go to secondary and then had my tertiary education here too. I had my opportunity to travel out of the country to the U.S. About a couple of times, and for the last time that I was there was 2013. So I had the opportunity to work on a J1 visa when
Okay.
I was with a Sprint. Then I transferred over to T-Mobile as an account executive.
Mm.
So I was serving the Oakland area in
Okay. Oakland.
California.
All right. Nice.
Right. Yes, exactly. So that's the whole Bay Area that I was dealing with as an
Gotcha.
account executive.
So
Now,
let me ask you. So, what was your background like? So, when you were in Accra,
mhm.
um, like did your parents or did they go to school? They went to college. You had siblings, everything.
So okay, so when we took let me take it from siblings. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm the oldest.
you're the oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest. So I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year.
Okay.
So I have a sister right behind me, who Isabella. That's her name, and she's turning 31 this year. She's in the U.S. also. Then we have two more sisters again. Because my dad got married when I lost my mom.
Ah, okay.
Yes, So my mom was a over here we call them the seamstress.
The seamstress. Okay, so yeah,
So she was not a fashion designer like how
yeah,
we have
right. I
now.
know how it is. You
So
got the
the seamstress and all that's what she
sailors.
was. And my dad was an auto mechanic, where he used to fix vehicles, the electrical side of
Mm,
the mechanic and all that. He never had an opportunity to have a formal secondary education. So he graduated from the junior high school, but of course he was very intelligent. He's
yeah,
still alive though, as well. My mom too had the same junior secondary education too, so they could read and write.
yeah.
But when I say we, I'm talking about me and my siblings had the opportunity to go through secondary education. But unfortunately, when I was 14 to 15, I lost my mom.
Oh, oh, that sucks. Yeah.
There was a family dispute. My dad became frustrated and he abandoned me and my sister.
Mm,
So we became homeless for a while,
wow,
yeah, for a moment. So we were homeless for about, let me say, about 6 or 7 years.
wow. That's
Yes.
a long time.
So I needed to be a thug. Let me just say that.
Really?
Hard working person
Yeah,
when I do menial jobs and
yeah.
all that.
You learn how
Because
to hustle though.
yes, because
Yeah,
I
you needed
inherited
to.
my sister. She
Yeah.
was really young at the time. and I needed to take care of my sister and all that. So I couldn't have seen my sister. You know, back in the days, those days, you do see young girls who get into prostitution, getting taken advantage of because they're
Yeah.
vulnerable and all that. So at that time, I knew all this stuff, and of course, I used to see it on television and all that. So uh, I was a little bit skeptical leaving my sister for somebody to take her of because I was
Yeah.
scared that she was going to be in that. So she had to be in my custody. Wherever I was, she was going to be with me.
Yeah.
You know, even if I was going to be sleeping on the street, she had to be on my side and all that. Until I met this, my dad, a family friend who was a taxi driver. He had his niece living with him. So I kind of like felt comfortable and I trusted him.
Hmm.
So I let my sister be with him while I was out there hustling, looking for money to be able to do
Gotcha.
that. But I was able to take care of her to go to school too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where did the opportunity come in to
Uh,
go to the U.S.
to the U.S.
and you
So
you did college here first and then
yeah,
went?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to go to the university, and in the tertiary school, I met my girlfriend, the girl that I had before because I played basketball too. You
Oh, you
know,
played
yeah, I
basketball?
played basketball. So back in secondary school too, I used to play basketball and I used to dance because I had a dancing, a
Okay.
street dancing. You know,
Yeah.
so I had those talent too. So I knew I had a lot of girls like who used to admire me and all that. So there was this daughter of a diplomat
Mm.
who used to admire me back then, but I didn't know him. So in the tertiary in the university, I'm not, but she was, of course, she was rich. She came from a
Yeah.
rich background and all that, and so she was the one who transformed my life. You know,
Ah,
and she
okay,
helped
okay.
me a lot. But I was very enterprising. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so whatever she could give me, I
You
could
could
turn it
build, yeah, you
around.
could build
You
on it
know, and all that.
yeah,
And so
okay.
that's what I did. And she gave me an invitation to join her family in the U.S. first time. So that's how come my first visit was to California,
Okay.
and that was on a tourist visa when I had 6 months visa appointment. But when I went back on the second time was on a J1 visa, you know, and
Yeah.
that was exchange visitor program, and I could work. So I was doing an internship with Sprint.
Mm,
Yes, before I joined AT&T in 2014.
gotcha.
Yes, but in same 2014, I had to take my sister back to the my sister to the U.S. too, the one with me
Right, right.
to go to school. So I enrolled her in school in college in Utica College in upstate New York,
Yeah,
and so that's where she has her university um,
nice.
education.
Okay, so let's just kind of go through all of that background. So you
Hmm.
grew up, you had both parents, you lost your mom,
Yeah, I lost my
unfortunately.
mom. Yeah,
Then without that,
yeah, my
you and your
dad.
sister became homeless.
Hmm.
But you were still working, you were
Yeah, I
hustling,
was
finding a
hustling.
way to provide
Yes.
for her.
Hmm.
Ended up going to college.
Hmm.
You were the basketball star, you were the big time
That's,
dancer, so you had all the
yeah,
girls. Then
right, right.
uh, met your
Hmm.
girlfriend in college,
Hmm.
was rich, and
Yeah.
that is what really gave you an opportunity to go to the U.S.
Yes,
And from
exactly.
there, you already had your degree, but there you started working,
Yes,
building that experience and
exactly.
building capital that
Exactly.
would ultimately go towards funding your
Yes,
business.
yes, exactly. So um, I didn't even think of my business in the
Mm,
first place. You know, 10 years ago and um, 9 years to 8 years down the line ago, you know,
yeah.
I never thought about my business.
Mm,
But I was passionate about helping my people
yeah.
back here in Ghana. What can I do? Because I believe Africa is the next
Yeah.
greener pasture, you know, geographical area that everybody can take advantage of.
Right.
Because when I look at the U.S. and I look at the resources, the infrastructure, whatever the technologies or whatever going down, I mean, up there, over here, we don't have all of that.
Yeah.
So why can I do something similar over there,
Exactly.
over here, replicate something similar over here, and then take advantage of the market?
Yeah. It's
You
an
know,
opportunity.
yes, it's an
Yeah. And
opportunity,
there's a
right?
lot of us. It's like the diaspora. That's the biggest thing that prevents us
Right.
from moving forward. Is like our skilled people, our brightest people. They want
Uh-huh.
to do business in the
In the
U.S.
US and
and
all that.
Europe,
Right.
Australia. Like
Exactly.
they want to go to other
Right.
countries. Whereas there's opportunity here. Like
Yes, a lot
there's
of everything.
more challenges, but the upside I think is a
Hmm.
lot higher if you
Hmm.
really can
Right.
solve
Right.
problems and meet
Right. Right.
needs. So
So that's it. So I started to invest more, and because so 6 years, let's say 2017, from 2016 2017, I started thinking, what am I going to be investing into? Now, mind you, I didn't have a reconciliation with my dad
Mm.
because when he abandoned me and my sister, I was really pained, you know.
Yeah, no, I
But I
bet.
needed to come back to look for my family, and because my dad got married, we have new siblings again from
Yeah.
different mother with half sibling, half sisters, right?
Hmm.
So I needed to look for
I
my
know how
dad,
that goes.
you know, so we can
Yeah.
reconcile on that. And I said, okay, Dad, I wanted to go back to the U.S. or I wanted to establish a business. So
Mm.
he was like, let me do the business. Like I could start a business here in Ghana. And I said, okay, so I have a capital because I was able to, you know, invest more in the U.S. Like I said, I did a couple of investments. Like I did one with Morgan Stanley. I was able to liquidate that. Um, then I have a there was a business that I did more with Capital One. There was some monies with a little bit about crypto. That was
So with Morgan Stanley, so that was an investment. Like you invested, was it like a retirement account or
no,
something?
no. So it was my aunt's investment. So she had passed away,
Uh,
and there was that money was left with Morgan Stanley to mature.
got you, got you,
Yes, you know, and there was something from her 401k too that we
got you.
had a little from there. So I was able to flip all this money, turn them all around, and did a little blockchain or crypto investment.
Ah,
So
okay,
I brought all those proceeds together, and then I
got
came
you.
to Ghana to invest it.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
So just to recap that, this is like the capital. So you're working, you're saving capital, and then you had an investment from your aunt's
Right.
passing that
Yeah.
you were able to reinvest
Yeah.
and grow, and
Yeah.
then you put that into crypto or the
Yeah.
cryptos. So you put
But
that into
yeah, put
crypto,
more into
and then
crypto.
you
Yeah.
were able to
If
grow
you
that.
follow crypto very well, 2017 crypto rose at
Yeah,
really
yeah,
high,
it went crazy. I remember that.
right out to 2018, early January 2018,
Yeah,
before it dropped. So at the time, you could buy one Bitcoin for about $22,000.
yeah.
Yeah, you know. So that was how I was able to make more
So you
return on
flip some
investment.
money
Yeah,
using. Okay, nice.
right.
So
I
crypto
took
worked
advantage
out
of that.
for it.
Yes,
It works out
exactly.
for a lot of people. I know, like it's volatile, and you
Yeah.
got to really understand it,
Yes,
blockchain and
exactly. It's really
everything.
risky. Yeah.
But no, that's good.
Yeah, that's
So
smart.
you're when you were like an account exec, so it's like your degree in tech in a technical
So
space.
I did. So I'm an like I said, I'm a product manager.
Yeah.
So first of all, my career, you know, my profession is a lawyer. Just that I don't practice here now. For
Yeah.
you know, I don't have the license to practice because I was not sure if I wanted to practice here or
Okay.
practice in the U.S.
So you did you practice in the
No,
U.S.?
I wasn't.
Okay, but
I was a paralegal.
oh, you were paralegal. Okay.
Yes, I was, but I wanted to practice in the U.S. But because I was coming back home, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it
Yeah.
here or over there. I didn't know
Okay.
where my life was going to be because it's been a while, you know. So I didn't know how the system here works entirely around me to if I was going to be comfortable, you
Hmm.
know. So I didn't bother um, putting that into consideration. So I took the opportunity to study product management, you know, to become a digital product developer, then product management, and then a Scrum Master,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
in agile product development, you know, in terms of project management and all that. So that's how come I got this technology expertise in developing technology products. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Hmm.
that's how you got your technology background.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Now let's transition. We actually got through all your background, your experience, how you got
Hmm.
to become who you were to start the
Yes.
company.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like actually starting your business
Oh,
and what that story is like.
starting my business was is really difficult, bro. I mean, doing businesses in Africa, especially in the West Africa here in this area, and in Ghana, it's not for the faint. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
So I had three bad experiences, but I've learned on the job too. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a learning curve, and learning experience for me. So when I came down, 2019, I wanted to start a multiple listing service because real estate in Africa, especially in Ghana, is not regulated.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so just anybody can just do real estate. We don't
Right.
have a broker here
Right. You
in
don't need
Ghana
a license to be an
license
agent
to be
here.
an agent,
Yeah.
no. So we don't even have a broker here, like a licensed broker that regulates real estate activities of agents and all that. We don't have that. So until 2020, I wanted to start developing a multiple listing service, and then a property management and portfolio management software because we don't even have that. It starts from there. Technology in real estate here in Ghana is absent. We don't have that.
Yeah. So there's a whole market for it
Is
because
it,
prop tech is growing as an industry. Yeah.
So if somebody can do create something that is out of the ordinary, then that person can monopolize the market.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
what I was trying to do because I identified that. So of course in 2020, before we went on a lockdown for COVID, I had noticed that I could start taking advantage of the lockdown to start designing the product. So I
Mm.
reached out to a few UI experts who can do this. Of course, I'm a UX expert too. So I was letting them know how the wireframes and everything
Yeah.
would work. They took money from me, so I spent about $10,000 on that, so we can have this UI for the products out. From the initial, the get go, the guy was really enthusiastic. You know, he was sweet talking me and all that.
Mm.
I paid money to him, and now you call him, you don't even hear anything from him.
Sold you the dream, huh?
No, he took my money and all
Just
that.
yeah.
So he was not able to do whatever he wanted to do. He didn't even understand the vision. He didn't know. He didn't understand the product. So I lost interest.
Yeah. How much did you invest that time?
At the time, it was about $10,000.
That was $10,000.
Yeah,
You
ten
invested
thousand
that
dollars.
with a guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
as of the time, I
Yeah.
hadn't liquidated my investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do that. So moving forward, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But October 2020, I had a couple of friends who said, "Look, we believe in your vision, and we want you to do it.
Yeah.
Go back, start again." So I had a recommendation from a different guy from a different lady who told me about a guy who could do this for me over there too. The guy had he was a good prospect. He was very good with what he was starting. And I knew that he understood the vision to a point. So we was able to design the product interface, the UI of the product to about 70%. And then he told me from the UI expert, then we'll move to the development stage, which was going to be needing a lot of money. So I invested more, about $200,000 into
Okay.
that.
So this guy, he actually designed. Here's what the UI is gonna look like, and
Like,
made it, and you were
yes,
happy with that.
yes, I was happy
Then
with
he asked for the investment,
yes,
200,000 to
no,
actually develop it.
develop the software, the back end and the
Yeah.
front end, so we can make it a reality.
Yeah.
So, mind you, we were developing about two mobile applications and two more management softwares that we'll use behind the scene, to control
Yeah.
the
Right. Right.
two
Right.
mobile apps that we'll give to the consumers. So that was four software, and that's how much it was going to cost him according to the contract that he
Yeah.
came. So we agreed. Contract was supposed to end on September 2022. We signed everything, and he was leading me on, giving me false hopes, letting me know
Yeah.
that everything was in alignment and everything. Um, October 2022, there was no software.
No software.
But he made me understand that he and his team was testing the software and
Right.
all
Yeah.
that. So we went ahead, got an office space. I had my own office space that I built, that I was gonna. I started working with. I have my
Yeah.
meetings and all this stuff like that. And because we wanted to create
Right.
job opportunity for my people, because
Yeah.
I wanted to contribute my culture to unemployment, well, reduce the unemployment rate here in this
Yeah.
continent.
I
So
get that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I wasn't going to do develop a software as a service like a SaaS, like SaaS
Yeah.
software. No, it was going to be a hybrid of SaaS and then a whole company that would employ people to
Yeah.
work. So that's what I did. So I got a different property that I had rented, like I leased it for the bigger space so I can employ people. And we was waiting for a software to work with, because we had branded ourselves as a software driven broker,
Yeah.
and there was no software for us to work with.
Hmm.
So 2023 January was when I had brought a different software engineer from Singapore who was equally a Ghanaian
Okay.
to investigate these guys if they were really working on my software.
Yeah.
And it came out that they never did.
Mm. Okay.
You know,
So how do you handle situations like that? One, how did you react knowing that you just spent 200 grand and now
Um,
you have
you
nothing?
know, it was really hard. Um, so I was really upset. I was really angry.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
had rage,
Yeah.
because when I think that, when I think about it, the dude, aside, aside paying for that contract, I was also giving him extra monies like tips.
Uh,
Even bought him a cell phone, like the latest iPhone at the time,
and treating him
whatever it is.
nice,
Yeah, I was
and
treating him nice
and
because they, you want the person to concentrate on your
right.
project
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he can do it. But he
yeah.
abandoned the project, and he
Mm,
was dealing with other deals that he had on the side, and then the project was not coming through, and he was lying to me. So I
mm,
got upset. I was really angry that how could you lie to me? Because if it's a different thing. It's one thing not to do what you said you can do, and it's a different thing to lie to me. Because
yeah,
if you lie to me, you're putting me in trouble,
yeah, yeah.
because based on these lies, I was making provisions, I was
Right.
making
Yeah.
commitments
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
things, and they were not true, and you
Yeah.
knew they were lies.
Mm,
At least let's stick to you not doing the software and keep lying about the software that you were doing it. But you were telling me different lies that was making me making commitments, and
yeah.
these were really coming back to hurt me and putting me in much debts.
Yeah.
I've gone into a lot of debts because of that. So that I didn't know. The best I could do for myself is to avoid this person for about 4 to 6 months. Because if I got angry, I could have done something that would
Yeah.
jeopardize my freedom. So I didn't want it to,
Right.
mind him.
Yeah.
So until that, I had to award the contract to the different guy whom I
Yeah.
had brought in. So he was the one who was able to develop our software for me.
Gotcha. All right. So you got the first two guys. They were Ghanaians from here. The last one
Yes.
was Ghanaian, but he lives in Singapore now.
Right. So if one thing that I noticed is Ghanaian professionals, right,
Mm,
without an exposure outside, lack integrity.
yeah. I would say
Hmm.
it's probably like just a situation, right? You know, like being in the developing country, struggle. I know, like for Sierra Leone,
Mm,
there's a lot of people. It's like the country's so bad that you kind of get a culture of survival and
yeah.
looking out for me to
Hmm.
just be able to make money,
Right.
as opposed to thinking long term. So I
Yes.
think that's what you kind of run into.
Well, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got myself in, and I found myself in that situation. But I mean, thank God I was able to, because um, when he was lying to me, I had saved about $100,000, which was the last that I
Mm,
had for my, in my investment, and I was gonna put that into towards promotions and marketing,
right. For the company.
of the software.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you this: looking for investor or venture capital or maybe a loan facility, whatever facility that you think you can have access to be able to put your vision through is not easy here in Africa. It's not easy here in
Yeah.
Ghana at all. So um, I was really calculated. Like I really calculated
Yeah.
myself, and I
So.
was really prepared for the market without going to depend on anyone that, hey, I can give you money this, and I keep chasing them up, up and down looking for an
Yeah.
investment opportunity. No.
Yeah, so you're saying it's tough to like if you actually want to fund a project,
Yes.
like when in the U.S. you can get VC capital, you can get investor capital,
Exactly.
private equity.
Eh,
Here,
It's not that way.
mostly you just out of your own
Your
pocket.
own,
Yeah,
yes, your own pocket. So the system here is not conducive for entrepreneurs.
yeah, it's
No,
not as set up
it's not.
as it
So
could be.
no. So a lot of entrepreneurs here in Ghana are dying with their vision. They're not
Mm.
able to come up with this vision that they have because there's no uh, capital to do it.
There's essentially a gap that needs to be filled where
Hmm.
because Africa has a lot of creativity. As across the board, Ghana,
Yes.
of course,
Right.
has a lot of creativity. You got
Hmm.
very bright people, enterprise and innovative people.
Hmm.
But it like when it comes to actually trying to do a business,
Right.
it's like where's the capital? Everything is money,
It's money.
and it's very there's not really any system or
Right.
structure
Right.
like there is in the U.S. where you can just
Yes.
there's people that are looking to make money with their money.
Right. Exactly.
So there's a gap there. If you can
It's a
fill,
gift.
you can provide opportunities that
Hmm.
allow Ghanaians to develop their own country, develop their own
Exactly.
businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the whole country progresses.
Because For example, in the U.S. when COVID came, business in America could access funding from the federal government.
Mm.
What was that? There was an SBA funding for businesses and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this stuff
yeah.
like that,
The COVID relief funds,
funds and all this stuff.
PPP loans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PPP loans and all that. But we don't have such,
yeah,
incentives here in Ghana or in Africa. It's really difficult. So you have to do everything from your own pocket, or
yeah,
you have to look for an equity, someone interested in an equity, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be
yeah.
so difficult for you.
Oh, I
So
bet.
I had to be prepared for the journey. I was okay. I was fine with everything, but there was no, I didn't. I was not lucky to deal with the right professionals from the
Yeah,
get go.
yeah,
So
and
I
that
felt
set you back.
victim. Yeah, set me
Yeah.
back. That's it.
Okay. All right. So now with that, going back to the story. So the last 100,000, which you had initially earmarked to do promotion, marketing for the
Hmm.
software, you ended up having to give that on the last contract to get the software developed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what happened to me. So now I have the software. I'm excited,
Yeah.
but I can't go into the market because I'm not confident. I don't even have the support. I don't have the needed capital for logistics and whatever I would need on the like in the market. I don't even have that.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yeah, thank you. So that's the challenge that I've been faced with now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try this smoothie and get back
All
to it.
right.
I want to see
All right.
what
Thank you.
this one is. This is number 19. I think it's passion fruit and mango.
Mm.
Let's see what this is now.
This is banana, apple, and vanilla for me.
This one's good. This I didn't even
Right.
I don't know much about passion fruit, but
Not
I
me
guess
either.
I'll take a chance and
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it
can
turned
try.
out pretty good.
Hmm.
Okay. So now like that you're kinda in the situation, you spend all your capital. So what's next? What are you gonna do to try and circumvent that? Because you're not gonna let the vision die. I know that,
Uh,
right?
no, it's not gonna die because what I did was there are some accelerator programs for
Uh-huh.
entrepreneurs going on. I was looking for some of those online so I can um, sign up to those,
Yeah.
whatever it is. If I'm able to win some grants from those. Aside from that, I've been looking for a debenture. You know what a debenture is.
A debenture?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so a debenture is like an investor, an investment opportunity from an investor that gives you whatever amount that you're looking for, but you got to pay that amount back plus yearly dividend. So they get to earn dividend with you every year, depending on the percentage that was agreed.
Yeah.
But you get to pay the capital that they give you back. This is as opposed to an investor that gives you the capital for an equity.
Yeah.
That's the
Ah,
difference.
okay.
That's what a venture is.
So is it like a mix between debt and equity? Or
It's
is it
different.
just debt?
It's just a debenture, not an equity.
Okay, so it's pretty much just debt. It's just like getting a loan from somebody and you pay a
Yes,
dividend.
yes, but paying a dividend to the person plus the loan. That's what a debenture is in the company. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was looking for a debenture opportunity. Aside from that, I was willing to give out 20% of the equity out for 100 grand, so
Okay.
I'll be able to go into the market.
And how does that look? Like how are you networking to find an equity investor and a
Investors,
debenture?
it's not easy because contacts is really limited here. Like
Yeah.
to find that it's not easy to locate an investor.
Yeah.
It's not. So I'm just reaching out to a couple of people that have that network.
Yeah.
So if they have um, such people, I can meet them and talk to them and demonstrate my software and see whatever they have for me. And if they're interested, we go into that deal. But aside from that, I've been able to talk to two potential investors,
Nice.
but I've not. I've not heard anything from them yet.
Yeah.
Of course, it takes a lot to be able to
Yeah.
convince
Yeah.
an investor, a potential person to get on board on your project. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
I can't say I have um, a prospect that I know will be able to get into a deal just yet. No, I don't have that. So aside from that, I was just thinking, well, with or without an investor, I'll just take my software into the market and talk to one or two, three people. Once they start using less market and
yeah,
see by word of mouth, that is traditional marketing,
yeah,
and see if we can do some referral and affiliate marketing strategies and see if we can pull some weight to have more users on the platform. And then once that happens, I don't know because that's not quite effective.
yeah,
Then you having to run a full promotion
yeah.
and doing a lot of groundbreaking marketing advertisement. That's different from doing word of mouth without capital. Yeah,
Gotcha. No, I get it. It's a challenge, but you could look at creative ways to market, low
yeah,
cost, get bang for your buck. Maybe look at content marketing, social
yeah.
media.
Hmm.
Word of mouth is good.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm sure that you'll figure it out. It's just a matter of
Matter of time.
sticking with it
Yeah,
and talking to as many people as you
yes, you
can.
can. Yeah.
Talk to as many people as you can.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's the way for me now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, just to kind of circle back with everything, I would say like out of everything that you did, when it came to starting your business, transition from U.S. to back to Ghana, um, what would you say? What would you have done differently, and what would you give advice for somebody who wants to do the same, who may be in the diaspora but wants to do business
So
here?
I was thinking of mentorship where I was going to be coaching a few of the diasporans because we have a lot of diasporan communities here
Yeah.
and network that I sign up to
Mhm.
that I wanted to do that. I like to let them know that first of all, if you want to do a business here, do your research and your surveys.
Yeah.
Get to reach out. If you meet a professional that you want to work with or you think you want to get into business with, or you want to award a contract to somebody to do like I did in my case, you need to do a due diligence. It's
Yeah.
very important, right? My problem is I trust a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That bites you in business.
Yes,
Yeah.
and in business you don't trust from the get go.
Yeah.
You do your due diligence. If you're satisfied, then you can begin to trust.
Yeah. Trust but verify. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm going to tell them from the from the get go. Yes. Then number two, whatever you want to do, first of all, if you want to go into development, like real estate development and everything, um, do it a step at a time.
Yeah.
So we know you have to, first of all, do your due diligence. For instance, if you want to purchase a property, do a due diligence on the deeds of the property, the ownership, how long the property has been built for, the number of ownerships, the transfer of ownerships, whatever it is, till you got your turn. If it is a land, just to find out all this stuff. If you're good and you do your acquisition and you're done with that, then you can now look for a contractor that you can do a lot of due diligence on that
Mm.
one. Due diligence in every step is very important, so you know how much you can spend. And it's
Gotcha.
very important that you have a very solid contract in place. The contract has to benefit you
Yeah.
more and protect you as a diasporan person
Hmm.
than you're dealing with a person over here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the whole advice that I can give.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
with your business, tell us a little more about like what it does specifically. What does it bring into a market that doesn't exist? What gaps is it filling?
Okay, so after the post-COVID, right? So
Yeah.
after the COVID, which is the post-COVID era, a lot of people realize that we need more convenient ways to work. You
Yeah.
know, so over here, the Ghanaians practice real estate just like we do in America too. You call an agent, you have an appointment with the agent, you go look at the listings and all those stuff like that, and then you can decide whatever you want to do. And do. Over here, we're trying to do the same, but there's a lot of lack of professionalism in here in the arena industry because people are not licensed to practice real estate agent. There's a lot of gaps in there, right? So
Hmm.
my software comes into play and it works like a competitor like Airbnb. So we have two software. There's one for the property seekers or investors, and there's one for property managers that they can use that to list and manage their portfolios and whatever it is. So it's like that. It's a complementary software.
Yeah.
Okay, so the seekers use one to look for properties on the marketplace that we have built, so
Mm.
they can buy and rent. So they use that to do reservations, auction. They can bid for properties that they see going on auction and all that. They can bid for
Yeah.
it. They can also book and all that. Instead of you calling an agent and doing all that, you can see a property. If you want it, you can pay for it on the platform, or you can pay through the bank. Okay, so
Okay.
there's an escrow system sitting behind it to make sure that the transaction is well facilitated and all parties are satisfied. So if you're a property seeker, whether you want to buy or rent this property, okay, and you buy it through my platform, until you receive everything and you are satisfied, and the transfer of ownership or your lease contract is in your hands, you don't approve for the transaction to be credited, or the money to be credited onto
Gotcha.
the agent's account. No.
So it's kind of like the escrow.
Escrow,
So
yes.
okay, it's the technology that facilitates the
The
transaction, but it
transaction,
also adds
yes,
the escrow to
yes,
make sure that both parties
are
fulfill whatever
satisfied.
got.
Yes, exactly. So that's the problem here, is that we're not able to verify transactions and make sure
Mm-hmm.
that all parties are satisfied with transactions. So this software is able to break that gap and then fill the void.
Gotcha.
That's what it does.
And then how are you going to be getting like the data for the properties? Like, is that going to be all uploaded by the user or the seller, or and
So
how would you
so we
verify that?
have so on the other software, which is the management software for
Yeah.
homeowners, property managers, and agents. What they do is they have different types of account depending on what you're representing, what you want to sign up as. So what they do is they list the property on there.
Yeah.
Yes, they go through the listing procedures on the software, just like any other listing platform. So they go to list their properties, and then it appears on a marketplace for the seekers to look at it, whatever they want to browse based
Yeah.
on their criteria, budgets, and the locations or their taste, whatever they're looking for. And once they do that, they're able to do that. Now, the verification is conducted by the back office based on the number of properties that comes. So we have a verification software and a team that are dedicated for every district. So if we were in the US, we can say in a state, for every state we have a verification team. And in every state we have counties. So in every county we have a dedicated verification team in every
Okay, so
county.
they can look it up with the government and
Yes, with the
verify
government verify all
the
those
information.
information.
Gotcha.
Yes, or else they'll not approve it. They'll take it down from the
Yeah.
platform.
Okay.
This step is taken to protect the community.
Right, right. So that's
Yes,
integrity, some verification, and
yes,
trust in the buying
yes,
process,
exactly,
which doesn't necessarily exist.
exactly.
So, okay. No, I think
Perfect.
that's a great idea. You
Yeah,
streamline the process and then
yes,
add confidence to the consumer and the seller.
exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. All right. So, I want to say that's everything. Um, yeah. All right. So, to kind of wrap up, one thing just want to know is like, what do you see? Where do you see your business going to be in 5, 10 years?
So the vision is to establish ourselves as um, the utmost broker in Ghana and
Yeah.
beyond, like in the entire African state. You know, so in 5 years' time, we should be able to cover the entire West African continent.
Nice.
I mean West African region.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about Nigeria, talking
Yeah.
about Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone,
Yeah.
Liberia, and all that. Cote d'Ivoire. We want to make sure the software has reached all this area in the next 5 years. That in the next 5 years, that's what we are trying to do. Establish ourselves as the household broker that everybody in this West African region knows about.
Yeah.
That's what we are trying to
And how is it building that team that's gonna help you do that? Like, what
do.
is your
How is
team?
that?
Yeah, building your team. How does that look like? Who's working with you? Like, who are your partners? And
Okay, so the most important thing is to uh, give have the partnership and an MOUs with the associations. Of
yeah,
course, the regulatory bodies that we have now, and then the associations in real estate, the industry experts.
mm,
These are the people that we have this MOUs with. We've already established that, so we have that backing, so we will be able to work. Now, we also have what I we call it, the volunteers that we are trying, because of course in terms of employees, we don't have employees. I used to have employees before
Yeah.
I shut down. I
Yeah.
went down. We went on a close down for a while. We had employees, but like I said, a lot of people are unemployed.
Yeah.
So if you're calling for employment now, employment opportunity, like you're calling people to apply for employment opportunity, you're going to be having a lot of
Yeah.
unqualified people and all that. So due to this, they have nice resumes and all that that you might think, okay, they know what they can do, but you give them the job, they don't know what they're doing
Yeah.
because they've never had the opportunity to work in this industry before with technologies and real estate and how it's supposed to work. So the best strategy that I had with my board was to go in for volunteers and interns. And we are going to be working with volunteers and interns for the first 5 months. And of course, the labor law says you cannot engage a volunteer for more than 5 months. If
Mm.
you want to engage in more than 5 months, then automatically you have to retain that
Mm.
person.
Okay.
So in the first 5 months, I have that the upper hand to
Yeah.
be able to determine whether this person has the
Yeah.
expertise that I have, that I'm looking for. They are dedicated, they're committed people. They want to really do what they want to do. If they have the qualities, they have the zeal, they want to learn on the job,
Yeah.
I give them that training. I invest in them, and then I keep these people as my employees.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm not in the position to say I want to employ you
Yeah.
full time and then be paying you salaries for that because you don't know what you're doing. Like I said, the past experiences has been a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
ready to go through that anymore. No.
Got you. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Cool.
So, talking about that, I have a couple of volunteers that about 114 volunteers in my.
114.
Yes, I even
Wow.
had the opportunity to train some of them. I can even show you a video if you want it.
Yeah, no, I'll see that. We'll
Okay,
include the
right.
video. So
Hmm.
114
Yeah, volunteers.
volunteers.
Yes.
Wow.
We had more than that. We had almost 600 when we called for that, but we had to reduce the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's it.
And they actually working diligently for you, like, or some of them, or
And now, did we do what?
like, are they working diligently and getting stuff
So
done?
because we've been on a shutdown since May last year,
Mm.
we've not worked just yet.
Okay.
So we're now going to be trying to start working so I can see, of course, there's no money. How much are you motivated to work without money in this
Yeah.
condition? Because you're not getting paid, you're not getting any tips, nothing to do your work. How much are you dedicated to work and committed to the project? So that's what this is, a test of time.
Yeah.
So we're about to see that.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, no, this has been a good, been interesting interview.
Right.
Learned a lot about your story, what you're doing in your
Mhm.
business, how
Right.
it fills a gap, and then
Yeah.
just how does one actually transition into
Mhm.
doing business here in Ghana.
Yeah.
So
Right.
thank you for your time,
You're welcome.
and would love to be able to learn more, or what contact info, or how would people reach you if they want to learn more or ask a question.
Okay, so you can find me on LinkedIn, like I said. So it's Larry Owusu.
Okay.
Yes, LHARRI and then Owusu WUSU. You
Mm.
can find me on LinkedIn. It says FCT Company Limited. So FCT Company Limited is the parent company,
Mm.
and what the company stands for is to develop and software solution to, there's an infinity sign in front of the FCT. It's
Okay.
unlimited software solutions to all the African countries. So that is why we
Gotcha.
call it AFCT, so African cities.
Ah, okay, okay.
You see that?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so you look for Larry Owusu with AFCT over there, AFCITI. Then you can find me there, exactly. And then of course you can find me on my Instagram profile with O Smith. Is OSMITH underscore. That's it,
Okay.
O Smith.
O
So you can find.
S M I T H.
Yeah,
Okay,
Osmith.
Osman
So that's
underscore.
Owusu and Smiths.
Ah,
With,
okay, okay.
yeah, with an S in front of the Smiths. So O Smiths with an underscore in front of it.
Gotcha.
You can find me on what I would call it, Instagram too, exactly. But on my would you want me to give you my number too?
Huh?
My number? You want my
It's
number
up to
too?
you. It's whatever you want
Well,
people
no,
to.
not
Yeah, you
just
don't
yet.
have to. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't want that. But that is fine. But my email, you can find me. You can send me an email on larryusu@gmail.com.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Thank you very
good.
much.
Now we can enjoy these smoothies and go on about our day.